Since I was young, I have had a special fascination and passion for mysteries, especially horrifying cases that have haunted me for years or unsolved crimes. I'm about to share some of them in this compilation video. It is understandable if you feel nauseous or have to lock the door immediately because it not only relates to demons but also to inhumane murderers who only receive light sentences and are now released into society. A like and subscribe is a sign for me to do the next part. So, please.
Mysterious stories.
Number 5. If you're eating, I think the next case will make you throw all up. Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer was a serial killer and sex offender. He was charged with rape, murder, dismemberment, and cannibalism of 17 men and teenage boys. In 1966, Dahmer enjoyed collecting roadkill animals, skinning them, and preserving their bones. He claimed to have had thoughts of murder and necrophilia since the age of 14.
I was coming back from the shopping mall back in '78. I had had fantasies about picking up a hitchhiker and taking him back to the house and having complete control and dominance over him.
The breakdown of his parents' marriage led to his horrific crimes. After killing his victims, Dahmer would dismember their bodies and dispose of the remains. He also kept some body parts in his refrigerator to eat. He would often clean the skulls and keep them. On July 22, 1991, one of Dahmer's victims managed to escape, leading to the discovery of his terrifying crimes. When police searched his place, they were overwhelmed by the scene. They found 4 heads in the refrigerator, hands and genitalia decomposing in a pressure cooker, and 2 skulls and chemicals on a shelf. Photographs taken by Dahmer of his victims' bodies were also found, including one depicting a head in a sink and another showing a victim with his torso split open, exposing his pelvic bones. Dahmer even drilled into the skulls of his victims while they were still alive and injected acid into their brains. After 5 hours of deliberation, Dahmer was sentenced to multiple life imprisonments, effectively a total of 15 life sentences. Such a lengthy sentence reflects the horrifying extent of Dahmer's crimes. Number 4. Eliza Lamb, a 21-year-old Canadian student, traveled alone to cities on the west coast of the United States in January 2013. She checked into the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles on January 26. Her family couldn't reach her after that, so they reported her disappearance to the police. During the investigation, guests at the Cecil Hotel complained about issues with the water system, like strange odors and changes in water color and pressure. Technicians discovered Eliza's decomposing body, along with her clothes, watch, and room key, in a water tank while investigating the water system. The circumstances of Eliza's death are still a mystery. There were no signs of an attack or foul play. The theory of suicide is also unlikely because she would have had to pass through a specially alarmed door. However, there were no reports of any alarm or security camera capturing her entering through that door. The case took a strange turn when the police released surveillance footage from the Cecil Hotel. Eliza was seen acting strangely in one of the hotel's elevators on the day she disappeared. She pressed multiple floor buttons, peeked out into the corridors, and made unusual gestures. The video ended with her standing by the elevator door, hiding in the corner, and peering outside as if she was running away or talking to someone. No one else was seen in the video. The Cecil Hotel has a reputation for other mysterious cases. There are many theories about Eliza Lamb's death. I'll collect them all in the next part. If you find these interesting, please give me a like, subscribe and leave comments to ask for part 2. Number 3. Next, we come to one of the most gruesome cases of rape and murder in Japan. On November 22, 1989, Junko Furuta was held captive in a house by 4 teenage boys. There, she was repeatedly raped and brutally tortured in unimaginable ways for 44 days. She was only 16 years old at the time. Are you ready to hear the following details? Prepare yourself, as a series of crimes about to be revealed. After kidnapping her, they raped and beat her, stabbed her genitals with objects including an iron rod, forced her to drink her own urine, made her eat cockroaches, inserted fireworks into her body and lit them, placed weights used for exercising on her abdomen, burned her with cigarettes and lighters. Not only that, they forced her to crawl on her hands and knees for over an hour on her injured body. The torture was so extreme that she begged them to kill her. On January 4, 1989, she died from shock after being beaten with a dumbbell and set on fire with gasoline. They concealed her body in a concrete-filled drum and disposed of it in a vacant lot. Compared to the pain and solitude she endured, the ringleader received a sentence of only 20 years, and the others received sentences ranging from 3 to 8 years in prison. It's incredibly infuriating to learn this, and one can only imagine the devastation Junko's family must have experienced. What's terrifying is that these inhumane criminals are still lurking in society, while innocent Junko had to endure 44 days living in hell. Who will restore her future and life? Who will bring back the beautiful daughter to her family? Number 2. One of the 4 major shocking cases in Hong Kong remains unsolved to this day. In March 1984, at the Elizabeth Hotel in Tung Lo Wan Bay, a couple suspected something unusual in the neighboring apartment when they smelled a strong foul odor and saw bloodstains on the flowerbed. The police immediately excavated and discovered 2 heavily decomposed bodies. These bodies were arranged in a stacked 69 position and were surrounded by multiple layers of white bandages resembling mummies. The hands of the corpses were tied behind their backs with iron chains and securely locked with copper padlocks, while their feet were wrapped in fur. One of the bodies even held 4 keys in its mouth. Underneath the corpses, the police found a hammer and 2 bizarre green amulets that sent shivers down one's spine. This strange treatment of the bodies makes me feel it related to some form of religion. Until now, the case remains unsolved, partly because the prime suspect's whereabouts are unknown due to his use of false information, and partly because the case involves 2 countries, making it complex. Thinking of the murderer is likely living somewhere outside the reach of the law. Surrounding us rises an unsettling feeling for me. Before we go to the last but not least case, thanks for watching this video so far. If you find it satisfies you, be sure to subscribe to me because new videos will be uploaded every day. Check out other videos on my channel. Please give me your suggestions for how to increase the video's quality, and in case you have any sources to share, don't hesitate to contact me. Number 1. Annalisa Michel's death is a case that brought the demonic possession to the forefront for the first time in the world. The trial sparked endless debates between believers in the supernatural and skeptics. The story takes place in Germany not long after World War II. Annalisa's mother, Anna Michel, raised her daughter to be a devout Christian. In 1968, while at school, she suddenly started experiencing seizures and losing consciousness. That night, she felt paralyzed, struggled to breathe, and sensed someone sitting on her. A year later, she even felt as if her body was being taken over, and she saw the faces of demons. She was afraid to enter church grounds, look at images of God, or touch objects related to God. She even started eating insects and drinking her own urine. The frightening part was that Annalisa began speaking in different voices and languages. I see these Simtop MS are exactly what the horror movies describe about demonic possession. At that point, Annalisa's family and she decided to sought the help of priests to perform exorcisms. Over 10 months, Annalisa underwent exorcism sessions, lasting up to 4 hours, 1 to 2 times a week. On July 1, 1976, Annalisa Michel took her last breath at the age of 23. Forensic reports indicated that malnutrition and dehydration were the main causes of her death. A trial was then held to prosecute Annalisa's parents and the 2 priests involved in the exorcism. It was the first trial in history where demonic possession was used as a defense. Lawyers played horrifying recorded exorcism sessions to prove the existence of demons and the innocence of Annalisa's parents and the priests. Many people in the courtroom were convinced by that. Do you agree with them? I just feel so poor for this little girl. However, the 4 defendants were still convicted of negligent homicide. This trial continues to be a subject of controversy even today. What do you think? Do you believe demons are real?